Hey, you guys. Okay, welcome back. It's actually part three, but it's part two on YouTube. It's part three on Facebook. This is going to be the continuing part of the video discussing micro cheating. What is that? Mental and emotional cheating and things that people do when they're in committed relationships or so-called committed relationships that get swept under the rug a lot of the time, don't get noticed. The other partner gets told they're crazy. It's no big deal. That's nothing. Everybody does that. You're just jealous. You're the one with the problem. Okay, I'm here to clarify a lot of that. No, you are not. And I think a lot of people are getting very sick and tired of being gaslighted, made to feel crazy, while all of these little things, all of these little twisted things are going on. So I'm going to finish the list. I had a list of 22 things that people do when in committed relationships that are really technically highly inappropriate and considered technically cheating. Micro cheating is little ways that people can still keep their mind distracted and occupied from their actual committed relationship when in fact they have more deeply rooted issues than they are letting on, than they have ever gone to therapy about, than they have discussed with their partner. They may not even be aware of these fears and phobias. It may come from childhood damages, trauma, mother-father issues, and a lot of this is going on, okay, guys? The bottom freaking line is, if you're in a committed relationship and you're not ready to be there, and oftentimes people are not. Oftentimes we are either linked up with the entirely wrong frequency for us, and we're trying desperately to make that fit because we have fallen in love with them or certain aspects of them, or we have been tricked and deceived and we didn't really know who they were for a long time and we're getting to know each other. There's actually a lot of work and determination, devotion, and commitment to one another that really needs to go into a relationship. Two people really have to be on the same page and decide that they want each other, by God, and that they want all of each other, and that they're going to do the absolute best they can to make that work, to grow with one another, to respect each other, to let each other grow. Balances of enough freedom and autonomy, but enough quality time too. And I personally feel like after 47 years on this earth, married twice, divorced twice, a series of relationships, another long-term engagement, I personally feel like people should wait. I do. I mean, a lot of us got married young. We had kids young. We date a lot, yada, yada, yada. But I personally feel like it is a major decision to bond your life to another human being's life. And I think it's something you should deeply think about. This thing of people just going out here, and because they are so lonely or so codependent, they think they have to have another person to survive. And a lot of them are doing it for reasons of money, places to stay, fear of being alone. These situations where these people out here just, shacking up, grabbing on, trying to act the part of a devoted partner, all this drama going on before they are actually ready, before they have actually spent time on their own, before they know who the hell they are. I mean, looking back from this age, I would do things a lot differently, okay? All right, guys, we're going to go back over the list. I had 6 more when I left off in the first part. 22 ways. And let me just go ahead and put this disclaimer out there again. I'm not a professional. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Always do your own research. Go with your feelings, your intuition. Reach out to a professional if you need help, okay? I'm all for love and relationships. I really am. I'm a devoted and loyal human being, but I am not for toxic, draining, disrespect, wasting up my time, wasting up your time, situations that are just going to pull people down. In that case, I would rather stay single. I have worked my way through a lot of codependency issues over the years. I do not feel like I need to grab onto somebody just for the sake of having somebody, and I don't even like them. I'm not even bonding to their soul. I'm not even, putting in what it takes. I'm not willing to share that time in my life. And for a long number of years, I was not. And I was very honest about it. No, I have children to raise. I'm going to school. I have goals, yada, yada. And for those that want to come down on me about that, there's a lot of people out there that want to attack. Oh, strong, independent women. Well, look here. You would attack me even more if I was the type of mother that said, oh yeah, I just let a bunch of men in while I was raising my kids and I, just laid around and didn't work and do nothing. Seems like you can't win for losing, so just do what you do and be who you are. Do what you think's best. But yeah, there were a lot of years where I was not looking for the white picket fence with somebody. I had my unit with my kids. When they were gone with their father, I went out on dates. I enjoyed dates. I enjoyed male companionship, and then I went the fuck home. To my home, my space. I was used to doing what I wanted to do. And it wasn't about, I want to be free to party and have any dude I want. Most of the time I wasn't having dudes. I wanted to be free to work on my future, to get in touch with my goals, my passions, go to therapy, learn about myself, be a better mother to my kids, so that when I approached 40, they were going to be grown. I could, if I wanted, to settle in later in life and be a wife to somebody so that I could be a better partner. I put that work in over the years, oftentimes spending a lot of time alone, not in a committed relationship. No, I wanted my space. And it wasn't until after 40 that at almost 20 years, that I relented again. And I did allow myself to become melded to another relationship and completely let that in and spend, that's a big deal. It's a big decision. And I think people are out here just jumping in and out of stuff, not thinking about it, okay? And then we find ourselves with people who are mistreating us, who are keeping their mind distracted on other things, and they are not really putting in. That, to me, that's a rare find. I see some couples out there in the world, and a lot of the time they're not young couples. Hey, I'm sorry, I just feel that way. I do think young love can last, but not like it was back in 1950. A lot of those couples are now in their 80s and 90s, and you're not seeing that as much anymore. Couples who met when they were 15 and 16 and had a 60, 70-year marriage or relationship, and that was that. You're not seeing that as much anymore. And so I personally feel like it is better to wait until later in life. And I personally feel like it's better to have kids when we're young and energetic. But based on my experience, by the time I was 40, that is when I felt most like I had worked through enough of my issues. And I felt more whole and complete inside, and like I could be a better partner to somebody at that age. I personally feel like love a little bit later in life is more mature. And most of us are just more ready to make something lasting. That was important to me. Okay, guys, let's get through this list, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I don't have a lot of time in this video, so this will be an ongoing series. We will talk about it a little bit more in another part. I'm going to read off the last 6 of those 22. If you didn't see the first part, check that out on my page, part 1 to micro cheating. But let's pick up where we left off yesterday. We talked about developing crushes on people at all. A lot of people do that, and I want to have time to delve more deeply into each one of these on the list, and I will do that in the third part. We'll go back over them, and we'll talk about some experiences and some examples of this stuff, okay? But for now, I just want to get these things out and get them in your mind. Developing crushes on other people while in a so-called committed relationship or marriage. No, you have to have more self-discipline than that in your mind. Number 18, paying more special attention to a certain person while in a committed relationship. Number 19, always commenting and liking people's pictures. Lurking on the opposite sex, finding yourself doing that every day, liking the same dude's picture every day or the same chick. Micro cheating, not appropriate. You have to have more discipline in your mind than that if you're going to be in a committed relationship and make it work. Number 20, hoping to make someone notice you. in a romantic way. Everything on this list sounds very immature to me. It sounds very underdeveloped. It sounds very junior high. It sounds very low self-esteem. It sounds very childhood wounds, mother-father issues. If you study that kind of stuff and you've had a lot of experience with it, then you can see it. It's not what people want to make it out to be. It's not that they're tough or that they are so irresistible or so popular. It's really that a lot of them are very weak and very, very terrified of vulnerability, very terrified of connection with another human being. It's not you. It's not that you're not good enough. It is that they don't feel good enough when they do a lot of these things. A lot of these things get swept under the rug, told you're crazy. Everybody does this. It's no big deal. You're just too controlling. No, do not accept that and do not let that get planted in your mind. These things are not right. If a person is going to be in a committed relationship, and you might want to reconsider and take your energy back from that person if they are doing a lot of these things on a regular basis. Keeping themselves distracted means they are not bonding with you. There is a problem, an energy block inside of them, something they need to get to the root of. Number 20, hoping to, make someone else notice you in a romantic way. You should not be worried about that if you are in love or in a committed marriage or relationship. Number 21, asking someone personal or inappropriate questions. That's not your business. If you're sitting up on that internet or you're out at a club or you're out to lunch and you start asking the opposite sex very personal, inappropriate questions, mind your business. If you're in a committed relationship, or go to a therapist, be single. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm for. I am for what is fair and just on all sides. If you want to be single, rock that shit. But if you want to be in love and you want to be in a committed relationship, then rock that shit appropriately too. And none of these things are appropriate. And I'm tired of people's minds being twisted into told they're crazy and jealous because they're picking up on this stuff. They're picking up on the fact that you are not quite there. You're emotionally unavailable. You're emotionally and mentally cheating. These are technically ways of cheating, keeping your mind on someone else. That's cheating. And like I've said before, what starts in the mind typically ends up in the hand. In our physical reality, it starts in the mind first. So you better watch what you focus on too much and put your energy on. Number 22, turning to someone else for your emotional needs when your relationship is rocky. And we hear it all the time. Well, I gotta have friends. I can't put it all on your back. But a lot of times what it is not that person actually wanting to solve their emotional issues. It is not that person platonically calling the opposite sex and saying, hey, with all due respect, I've got a real problem here and I really want your advice on it. What ways can I go about working on this? I want to make sure I'm respecting my wife, my husband, my boyfriend, girlfriend. A lot of times that's not how it's going down. No. Instead of staying in their lane, reaching out to a therapist or a member of the same sex, like a buddy, and getting advice, or if they have to reach out to the opposite sex, keeping it very respectful, very platonic, that's not what's happening. They are reaching out to the opposite sex, and instead of keeping it platonic, respectful, and really wanting to work on their emotional issues, they're using those, hey, I got a problem with my girl, and they are using that to manipulate you, to keep you on the phone, to suck up your time, to get validation from you, to flirt. And it's a way of them keeping people on backup for future use. I have a lot of juicy tidbits we're going to get into. I'm going to come back in a part 3. We're going to go over the entire list again and get straight and directly to the point. And we're going to give off examples of each one and how they're inappropriate, all 22, how they really hurt people, and how if you are in a committed relationship, you are crossing the line if you're doing these things. I have seen it manifest in my own relationships, and it scared me. I kept thinking, you know what? If you keep fearing me, and a lot of these people might love somebody, but they are so scared of abandonment, so scared of your energy, so scared of love, so traumatized from childhood, something, that they will screw themselves right out of a good relationship. They will not talk to you. They will not confront this stuff. And they will sit there keeping themselves mentally and emotionally distracted all the time. And I used to say, hey, if this is what you keep your mind on and you keep doing this, you're going to manifest us apart. You're going to manifest what you keep your mind on, subconscious on most of the time. Watch and see. Within a few years, we will cease to exist, and you will be right out there with what you kept your mind on all the time. And it might not be good. It might not be what you think it's going to be. So be real careful what you study on all the time. Control your thoughts. Control your focus. If you're with somebody you don't want to be with, or you don't think you're ready, then cut the cords. Do it the right way. Free yourself from that and free them so that you're not using, draining, and manipulating and involving a bunch of other energies, okay? All right, guys, we'll be back in part 3, in which we will go over the entire list of ways in which people micro-cheat. They mentally and emotionally cheat. Yes, it's considered cheating. Yes, I'm here to validate people who have been through it. No, you're not crazy. And if you're doing it, stop it. There's no need for it. Face yourself. Face what's really going on. Okay, guys? All right, I'll see you in the third part. Thank you for watching. If you got some value out of this or what have you, please hit the like button for me. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about it and share. If you're brand new to my page, for more, go ahead and subscribe because I will be getting up more in the very near future. All right, I appreciate you guys.